Simon, Simon, listen. Satan has demanded to shift all of you like wheat. But I have prayed for you that your own faith may not fail. And you, when once you have turned back, strengthen your brothers. And he said to him, Lord, I am ready to go with you to prison and to death. Jesus said, I'll tell you, Peter, the cock will not crow this day until you have denied 3 times that you know me. Now I'm next to the room of the Last Supper, the Cenacle, and today we will actually visit the place of the Sanhedrin, the place that the Sanhedrin judge Jesus, and that's where the cock crow. Remember? Then before that, decided to start a tour from the room of the Last Supper. I'm not going to stop at the room of the Last Supper for hours. Just want to show you the room. There's a lot of videos of it in my YouTube channel, but let's listen to the chanting. Was a nice beginning to the video. I will try to show you what's happened to Jesus, or the way to Jesus walked to Garden Gethsemane, and then to the high priest's house, Caiaphas' house. We're gonna dedicate it to a woman that doesn't know that I'm doing it for her and for her husband. Her name is Betty. Yes, it's you. And EJ had surgery 2 days ago, and he is well because we prayed a lot for him. Thanks a lot for you too. And she loves prisons. I know that she loves prisons. Don't ask me why. Then I decided to visit St. Peter in Gallicantu church that just opened to the public now after 2 years of COVID. And that's a rumor, but let's go to see if it's open, and if not, we will do that next time. Caiaphas. I will try to tell you that that the house of Caiaphas that we are going to visit is not the only one. I mean, there are at least 2 more options, but before that, King David tomb is right there. The room of the Last Supper is above it. It's a beautiful place to visit. I do have so many videos of it. Today it's not about that, but we are blessing the cross with you. Just say Chag Sameach to David. Chag Sameach, David. בסדר, מה שלומך?
עדיין בלי תיירים.
רגע, זה... It's very close to Passover, Easter. Then I just say happy holiday to him. You can see the Dormition Church, the House of Mary. We are at Mount Zion, and the House of Caiaphas are there too. There are so many evidence from 3rd century on 4th century about the house of Caiaphas at Mount Zion. But the location that here at Mount Zion, there are two locations. I do, and I will make another alternative option, because both of those locations, the house might be beautiful, the location is beautiful, but as a high priest, the best place for him to be is next to the temple, with the temple view. I mean, he is the one who is in charge of it. Then, in that case, after the destruction of the Jewish quarter by the Jordan in 1948, we excavate before we build the new Jewish quarter, and we found houses from the time of King Herod, from Jesus. And one of them is such a beautiful place that I believe that it might be. But again, alternative. Who am I to say to the Catholic, no, it's not the place. And I really love the church, and you will see it soon, but the Armenian, they actually look at that place and say, this is the house of the high priest. We found there evidence from the 4th century of churches. It might be because when the pilgrims wrote about it, they actually mentioned that place more than the other. But again, I'm not against any traditions, and for me it's not so important, mainly because it's the story that makes it more dramatic. And you heard the beginning of it, and that was at the room of the Last Supper. Then let's go. Oh yeah, I need that noise. Then in that case, let's continue the story. The story of the high priest is, you can find it in so many, I think most of the Gospels, if not all of the Gospels. It will be, there are a little bit differences between one or two. I don't know why I choose one of the Gospels today, but maybe I will prepare another tour, with a different Gospel. Because every Gospel's got a different meaning, or it looks like the same one, but there's always differences in between. And I took it from Luke 22. Simon, let me read it to you in Hebrew. אבל אני התפללתי, שמעון, הנה דרש השטן לטלטל אתכם כחיתים ככברה. אבל אני התפללתי בעדך שלא תכלה אמונתך ואתה לא תשוב, חזק את אחיך, אמר קייפה. אדוני, אני איתך, אני מוכן ללכת לבית האסורים גם למוות. השיב יהושע, ג'יזוס יהושע. אני אומר לך, קייפה, תרנגול לא יקרא היום עד אשר תתכחש לי 3 פעמים. Wow, that was in Hebrew. And we are heading to a very, very, very important church. I must say that church is quite old. Then, are we ready? Yes, we are. And let's pray that it's open, because that was the site said, and that was the rumor. And 2 days ago, saw some buses next to the church. Then, let's pray together. What we can see here is Mount of Olives and City of David in front of you, and excavation of the Zion Gate from 2nd century or 6th century. But we're going back. All right, we are here. This is Zion Gate, Schindler Tomb, and I don't know why the church is not mentioned, but it's there. Then let's walk through there. On the way to the church, it's called Let's start with the name of it. St. Peter in Gallicantu. Then it's a Roman Catholic church located at the eastern slope of Mount Zion, and we are at Mount Zion at the eastern part of it, just outside the old city walls, and the wall is right in front of you. Gallicantu, it's in Latin and actually means where the rooster has crowed. And you can see it in front of you. Alright, here it is. That is the church. And now it's a beautiful location. A really beautiful location, but far from the temple. Then for me, it's a little bit difficult to accept, but again, who am I to say no? Now that church was built and been destroyed like the rest of the churches in Israel so many times. It was built at the 4th century. People already mentioned that church, but it had been destroyed by the use the road because there's no pavement here. Then I'll try to be nice to the cars here. And it's been destroyed by the person. It's 614, but it was built again at, the first church was built at 457 AD. It's been destroyed by the Muslim Fatimic caliph Al-Hakim at 1010. The Crusaders built it again in 1102, and that's the name that we are actually using today. It's that name. Let me see if the gate is open. The gate is open. The gate is open. The gate is open. And that's over. The church is open. Let's cross the street at the other side where the bicycle are. That is Protestant, the Catholic tomb of Mount Zion, and that's where Oscar Schindler from Schindler's List is buried. And here it is, St. Peter in Gallicantu. Now, in a way, it's the house of the high priest. But I'm not sure that people will reach that place and say, all right, I'm actually heading to the high priest's house. Caiaphas is not remembered as the most important figure in Christianity, actually less than that. But when you're thinking about the story of St. Peter, then you can understand it as well. The chapel that we're going to see is from 1931. It belongs to the Catholic monks of France. They're taking care of their ideas of the Assumption of Mary. It costs money. All the French churches in Israel cost entrance fee, but I'm not sure that we need it. Then it's still question mark, although I believe that if that road is open, then the church is open as well. And look how beautiful it is. Look at the view from the church. There's an amazing view. That's the way that Jesus walked from Mount Zion, from the room of the Last Supper. We came from there all the way to the Kidron Valley, and you can see here the walls of the city. But what is important for us is the Golden Onion Church. Can you see it? Yes. Beneath it is Garden of Gethsemane. Then that's where Jesus went from the room of the Last Supper. He was captured there by the Jews because of Judas kiss, remember? And he went all the way up to the house of the high priest. And let's hope that we will be able to enter. The view is amazing here. Kidron Valley divided us in Mount of Olives, and you can see Mount of Olives. The Jewish cemetery is there, and the tower symbolizes the ascension spot, and Jesus will come from the same spot. You can see at the walls of the city a grey dome of Al-Aqsa Mosque. It looks like I'm the only one here. Then let's hope that it's still open. Betty, I think everything that you say become true. Then pray for me now. Until we will reach the gate, please subscribe my channel, and I will be more than happy to be with you. I do have more than almost 20,000 videos on YouTube. A lot of them are quite good, I must say. Oh, there is one bus. It's a good sign, because only buses that visiting that park, that church, can actually park here. And you open the window, and let's see. And here we are entering to the church, but before that, another viewpoint. And let's go to see it because it's beautiful. The church is in front of you, but we are going to the viewpoint. You will be surprised what we're going to see there, although the sky is not as blue as it used to be. It's dust, a lot of dust today. We're close to Easter time. That's why I'm here. Hell Valley is in front of you. What? Yeah, hell is here. And in between the trees, you can see a monastery, the other side of the valley. That is where Judas is buried. It's an amazing cemetery area. There are Crusaders places. See those people there? I don't know if you can see them walking. Yeah, to the right, it's a Crusader mass cemetery. They used to throw their bodies into a hole from the roof, but there's so many evidence of burial site here. One of them, or the most important one, there are two actually, is that monastery, Greek Orthodox monastery, which similar to the place that Judas was buried. Remember the 3 coins? To the left, in that area, more like the big trees in the valley, those trees, there's an amazing tomb, and you can watch it in my YouTube, of Hanan, the father-in-law of Caiaphas. Here, we are actually in his house, and City of David is right here, and from here you can see more places. Mount of Scandal is here. Oh, sorry. Yeah, it's right here. That was the house of. There was some temples that King Solomon built for the non-Jewish ladies. And Bethany is above it, the other side. And I'm going to be there very close to there on Sunday for you for a Palm Sunday procession. And you can see beautifully Mount of Olives. You can see the Golden Onion Church, and next to it, just beneath it, it's the Garden of Gethsemane. Then Jesus walked through that road straight there. He didn't enter to the city. I mean, there's no reason for him to enter the city, mainly because the Sanhedrin house is in front of you. But from that angle, you can see the Dome of the Rock, which is the site of the Jewish temple. At the time of Jesus, what he saw from there was the Jewish temple, which was between 2 to 3 times higher and bigger than the Dome of the Rock of today. And now when we are ready, let's go into the church. Betty, EJ, I'm here with you. And happily, we did it. We did it. And there's another group that comes now. I don't want to be with them. Then I hope that they were going to use the bathroom for 20 minutes. Then it will be a little bit quiet for us. True, isn't it? That's what we need. All right. If that's Jerusalem, this is the house. You can see the stairs that will take us to Garden of Gethsemane, which is there. Then the Assumption Catholic convent is to your right and to your left side. Well, the shop is not open, or the shop is open and they want to have a little bit more of your benefit, but not through that video. If we're talking about that, did you subscribe my channel? Yes. And if you want to support my channel, you can do that via look at the description for PayPal or for Buy Me a Coffee link, and you can do that, and you can actually even buy the crosses for them, and I will pray for them. I will visit it with you and then send it to your house and upload that video to YouTube. Then you're going to enjoy it. That cross is already priceless. Hallelujah. Let's close that amazing door if they will let me do that for just a minute. Remember the room of the Last Supper? That's why I actually did it. You will deny me 3 times. Me, my Lord? No. But he did it. We are human beings. Before we will continue into the church, or maybe because now there's another group, maybe we will go to the church. Let's enter the church and we will continue the story later on. Because the most important stories here are about the judgment and about St. Peter, denial. Look how beautiful it is. Look at the colors. It's so cheerful, but the story is not. You see the beautiful cross? Stained glass. And the Sanhedrin judgment right here in front of you. There's so many evidence for people who make some sinners, but they realized that what they did is wrong. You can see that the 12 Gospels around here. Disciples, sorry. Judgment place. Looks like Pontius Pilate later on. Such an amazing place, isn't it? The 40 stations are all over. You can see two of them here. Now there are 3 layers here. It's like a church on top of a church on top of the prison of Christ. Let's continue down. I want to be there before the group will come, and most of them are going straight to the prison. You can see some evidence in situ of the 5th century church. And here you can see that it's from the same time, but there was a movement, I think 8th century, of Christians that decided that people are worshipping faces, and they started to destroy the faces and the images of painting and mosaics Florence, and happily the 8th century they stopped it as well. Then let's go to the second part of the church. And I will be so happy if they won't be with us at the prison, and as you can see, another Byzantine mosaic. Such a beautiful place, and I'm so happy that I am here alone with you. See the bedrock, it's built on the cliff. And from here, you can see the prison of Christ down there. We're going to reach it. And there are 3 crosses on the wall. It's difficult to see it. But one of them is, wait a minute. I have to hold the cross now. One of them you can see here. Then Byzantine crosses. Oh, St. Peter, St. Peter. Do you love me? Do you love me? Do you love me? Beautiful, isn't it? We don't know exactly where he was judged, mainly here. But I can take you to his prison, and one of them is down there. And I can see that the group is coming, and if the group is coming, secret pit, then we will let them first pray and go, and then I will return. And this is the beauty of me not guiding people. I can wait. And we are underground, beneath the house of the high priest, beneath the house of Caiaphas. Now we know that Caiaphas had a very good relationship between Pontius Pilate and him. And both of them served a lot, and they were kicked out by the Romans together. It means that they had a kind of agreement between themselves. And one of them, as I believe, is to find people that can be against the Roman regime and to stop them before. Then underground caves. When these underground caves were rediscovered in 1889, physically, all right, I won't be able to read it for you, but so let's go in. The idea is that what we believe here is that we found prison of people. Now, if we were talking about the prison of important people, why not to believe that at the book of Acts, chapter 5, the disciples were captured here as well. And it can be true, isn't it? From here, you will see another pit, another dungeon. And as we believe, this is the place that Jesus was kept. It is different than the others because Jesus was different than the others as well. They closed it. Before COVID, we could enter there, and you can see that our places to tidy your hands. Right there. Now you can see mainly me, hello me. Then it can be part of it. Here you can see it here in a better way. The same idea. Got it. But the most important one is there, and because people are standing there, let me stand here and read for you from the Bible, from the book of Luke as well.
You have taken my friends away from me. You have made me an abomination to them. I am imprisoned. I cannot escape. My eyes have grown dim through affliction. Daily I call upon you, O Lord. To you I stretch out my hands. Will you work wonders for the dead? Will the shades arise to give you thanks? Do they declare your kindness in the grave, your faithfulness among those who have perished? Are your wonders made known in the darkness, or your justice in the land of oblivion? But I, O Lord, cry out to you. With my morning prayer I wait upon you. Why, O Lord, do you reject me? Why hide from me your face? I am afflicted in agony from my youth.
She is reading now from Psalm 88, which tells us about almost the same story, that special prisoners were being put down in a pit like that. And it's an amazing psalm. Read it, Psalm 88. Beautiful. Then we heard that as well, and I don't want to disturb them. And let's do it slowly. We do have time. And because I know that place so well, and they are waiting for the pit dungeon that I want to go in as well, I can actually look around and mingle with other places, and then we will reach back. I promise to be there. It's open until 5 o'clock, and I don't want you to wait with me for hours and hours. Then let's start with that. A basin from 5th century in the church used to wash hands and face before entering the building to purify yourself. Remember, that's what the Jews used to do. One of the crypts there of the Byzantine church. But that, boom, boom, boom. Do we need to say more? Do we need to say more? No, but I will say more. And first of all, who is it? Yeah, this is St. Peter. I'm not guilty. I'm not guilty. You can see the fire here. And good day, you could see the fire here. And the woman. And a Roman soldier. And look at the beautiful view as well. And let me sit there. Oh, they're sitting there. Yeah, I can sit. Let us read from the Bible. It's Luke 22, and we started from 54. Then he seized him and led him away, bringing him into the high priest's house. Welcome to the high priest's house, Caiaphas. But Peter was following at a distance. When they had kindled a fire in the middle of the courtyard, hello, we are in the courtyard right now, Peter sat among them. Then a servant girl, seeing him in his firelight, started at him and said, "This man also was with him," Jesus. But he denied it, saying, "Woman, I did not know him," and that's what is written beneath it. A little later, someone else, on seeing him, said, "You also are one of them." But Peter said, "Man, I am not." Then about an hour later, still another kept insisting, "Surely this man also was with him, for he is a Galilean." It's like when you are in New York City, you can recognize someone who comes from Texas. Then it's the same here. Galilee was a little bit different than Jerusalem. But Peter said, "Man, I do not know what you are talking about." And at that moment, I was so sad that now you cannot hear the bell. At that moment, while he was still speaking, the cock rose. The Lord turned and looked at Peter. Then Peter remembered the word of the Lord, how he had said to him before the cock rose, "Today you will deny him 3 times." And he went out and wept bitterly. That is a drama. This is, for years, it took me to understand St. Peter. St. Peter was not only one of the 12. St. Peter is the leader of the 12, and if that is a Catholic Church, then this is the first Pope ever, and he denied Jesus 3 times. But then my mother actually looked at me and said, "Zahi, he is a human being. He makes mistakes, but he knew that he made a mistake. And from right now, it will be different, maybe." Hello, Rooster. What? Do you want me to read it in Hebrew? No. All right, a little bit. a little bit. הם תפסו אותו, הוליכו והכניסוהו לבית הכהן הגדול, וקייפה הלך אחריו מרחוק. ראתה אותו שפחה אחת יושב ליד האש. הדליקו אש במרכז החצר וישבו יחדיו. ישב גם קייפה ביניהם, אך הוא התכחש ואמר, אישה אינני מכיר אותו. Alright, you got a message. Now there's a group that enter to here, and we will switch places, but not before. I will show you another important issue here, and that is the secret stairs. So many years we believe that Jesus walked through those stairs down the hill to Garden of Gethsemane. Now we know that the stairs are not from his time, they are a little bit later than it, but the way is the same way. And for so many years I could walk on it, but at that time I didn't take videos. Now I cannot walk on it, but I can go next to it. Are you ready for that? Look at all the water system, storerooms. And if you insist, we will do that. Another Byzantine. Seventh century. May the Lord God your coming in, your going out. Oh wow, this is amazing. Then I will walk down just like he is now walking back from Mount Zion to Garden of Gethsemane. He knows his future. The disciple didn't understand the future. And what I want you to feel is the agony of Jesus. You still remember that St. Peter told him, I will never betray you, I will go to prison with you. But Jesus knows what's happening now. Secret stairs in the house of Caiaphas. While we are climbing now, I want you to think about St. Peter, first about Jesus, and then think about where the disciples were. Not here. And the only one who was mentioned was St. Peter. He walked in the distance. He knows that he is going to be asked so many questions, and they might find him guilty. The Jews cannot kill Jesus, and this is one of the problems that I know that when I'm saying it, there will be so many comments. They did it. No, they didn't. They just couldn't kill anyone. What they could do is send him to be judged by Pontius Pilate. And let me tell you another thing. Pontius Pilate wasn't a child. If Jesus was crucified him, he knew what he's doing. The Bible tells us something else, but the Bible, I want you to understand, is not an history book. a lot of history in it, but it's not part of it. I know that now you're gonna shout at me, but let me give you one reason why Pontius Pilate will send for free a man who killed people. I'm not talking about Jesus, I'm talking about Barabbas, who killed people who was against the regime, the Roman regime. No one will do that. I mean, think about you. You're not going to do that as well. Then let's now climb up. Jesus, it's so late. It's almost morning time. Dan is now walking up with the idea that tomorrow at the same time he already will be on the cross. From here he will go to the high priest's house, and from the high priest's house he will go to be judged by Pontius Pilate. He will be crucified at the same hour. We are very close to 3 o'clock. 24 hours from now. That was a rich area of rich people, for sure. But if that is the house of the high priest, maybe, because from here you could see the temple. Then this is a good option. You can see even a sewage system to show you that what was above is amazing. If I remember correctly, when I could visit the other side, I actually could visit a mikveh, a Jewish ritual bath. And to find a rich mikveh, a rich Jewish ritual bath in places like that, it means that we're talking about holy people, very important people. Because usually it's not part of a private house. And let's go to the pit. Let's hope that they will be already at the end of the ceremony. I missed that place. I didn't visit it for more than 2 years. Oh, listen. Great timing. They let him go out, and we can go in unless there's another group will come. Then at least I will be at that pit, and I want to feel the energy of Jesus that knows that tomorrow, early morning, he will be taken to Pontius Pilate. We saw it during an access. And there are on the wall, it's difficult to see without so many crosses. We saw that one from the middle in the lower church, just above us. And there's an angel that spread his hands. Maybe Jesus figure as well, but it's so difficult to see it. It's supposed to be here. Let's see if we will be able to see it. Let that dungeon, that pit, will be ours for like 1 or 2 minutes. And it's ours. Remember, we saw it there. Now, according to what I know through history, this is an entrance to a ritual bath. But maybe it started as it, and then they use it as a dungeon. Remember, we saw one of the crosses. You can see it from here, there. Is that the angel with the wings? Maybe. Or maybe I'm dreaming because I know that it's there. Let me see if I can use the flash. No, you don't see any more better with it. We are together with Jesus now. We heard Psalms 88 from there. We heard them chanting, singing from there. And let me look for something there, because I don't want to read from Psalm. Because something else is more dramatic for me than. Let's see if I find it. I'm sure that I can find it there as well. It's next page. Again from Luke. This time we are following Luke. And it's Jesus in front of the Sanhedrin. Now I'm too fat for entering there, but this is Psalm 88. I'm starting from 63. Now the men who were holding Jesus began to mock him and beat him. They also blindfolded him and kept asking him, "Prophecy, who is that struck now?" Struck. They kept heaping many other insults on him. When they come, they simply of elders of the people, both chief priests and scribes, gathered together, and they brought him to their council, Sanhedrin. I'm not sure that the house of the high priest was part of the Sanhedrin, but I'm sure that a lot of the Sanhedrin came to the house of the high priest. They said, "If you are the Messiah, tell us." He replied, "If I'll tell you, you will not believe. If I question you, you will not answer. But from now, the Son of Man," which is something that the Jew will never say. You know, Son of Man, it's like a Son of the Father, Son of God. The Jew won't say it. When Son of Man will be seated at the right hand of the power of God. This is a blasphemy for the Jews. All of them ask, "Are you then the Son of God?" And he said to them, "You say that I am." Then they said, "What further testimony do we need? We have heard it ourselves from his own lips." And then he was here until they took him to their high priest's house. Amazing, isn't it? Can you feel the power? Let us be here for like 1 or 2 minutes before the rest will come. Outside and take a video of the room, but from the windows now it will be without the crowd. And the original entrance was from here. And if it's okay by you, I'm gonna light some candles for EJ, Betty, and their beloved child that does not exist anymore with us, Anthony, James Anthony. Let me pay for it. Let's go outside slowly. Thank you for being with me. If you want to support me, feel free to do that via Buy Me a Coffee link or PayPal. But if you reach that point, which is 1 hour, I'm begging you, just write that you did it. I will be more than happy to know about it. And see you. Thank you very much.